Hello and welcome to the Horsemanship and Mindset podcast with your host, Kimberly Dunn of Idlewild Horsemanship and Mindset Coaching. This podcast is here to bring you the very best in tips, tricks, and advice to help you better understand yourself, your mindset, and your horse, because your horsemanship starts with you. Let's go. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horsemanship and Mindset podcast. I'm delighted to have you here. If you're listening to this on the day it's come out, happy Friday. I'm hoping by the time you listen to this, I'm going to feel like a normal human being again. I have not been very well, people, and it's been rubbish. I'm never sick, and I was ill over the weekend. I was in bed for basically 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Had like a sickness bug that wasn't really a sickness bug. It's been very weird. I'm now on. So as I record this, it's Tuesday and I'm still not 100%. Grim. I'm never, ever really, I'm lucky, but I do look after myself too. I don't get sick a lot. So when I am sick, I feel very sorry for myself. So, but I was trying to have like quite a growth mindset, kind of positive way of thinking about it. I was like, come on, body, you've got this. You're working really hard and I appreciate you helping me get better. Oh dear. Anyway, here's hoping by the time you listen to this, I'm feeling normal again. Anyway, let's have a look at normal, see, I can't even speak. What is this? Let's get into what the episode is going to be about. So, we are looking at this shift from summer into autumn. Autumn is definitely here now. It's definitely landed. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, I apologise. I'm going to be talking about autumn a lot. So I invite you to listen to this now, if you like, or come back to this when it's your autumn. Or just know that some of this stuff is going to be relevant in that a season change definitely results in a behaviour change from our horses. That's what I'm going to be talking about a bit today. So while autumn invites us to slow down and reflect, well, it's supposed to, because I know a lot of us just want to keep going, but actually it is an opportunity for us to slow down and reflect. What happens with our horses is they often feel a little more alive. This is the time of year with that cooler air, the shorter days, the changes in their routine, in their amount of forage that they get, or the type of forage that they get. And then, if you clip, if you're changing rugs, the wind flying around everywhere, trees making noise and leaves and all of the things, it stirs up their nervous systems. And this is now the perfect time for us to refine our own emotional regulation, deepen our trust, and learn to hold calm, relaxed energy, even when your horse can't. Because, yeah, as we know, if you're a horse owner or you work with horses or you've had horses, yeah, this time of year when things are changing, things can be a little bit extra. And if you're feeling like that right now, please know you're not alone. Autumn energy can make horses extra buzzy, spooky, and just feeling like they're full of beans. But it is this perfect time for you to recalibrate your own energy, because the calmer you can be in their windy, leafy, rainy storm, the more your horse can learn to settle, connect, and trust you. It's such a shame I don't film these podcast episodes when I record them, because I wave my arms around a lot. And as I was talking about things being buzzy, spooky, and full of beans, I was spinning my arm around above my head. So just imagine me doing that with some gumption, if you like. Okay, so why do our horses feel so fresh and fruity in the autumn? So what's really happening here is we have the cooler temperatures, so that means an increased energy output. So they are producing more to keep themselves a bit warmer. Now there's that sudden change. Now their coats are kind of adjusting, because for a lot of them, they won't be there yet. And there's so much change, isn't there? It'll be really, really cool at night now. but then warm up in the middle of the day. So there's that kind of nuance there, that their body's not it's not one or the other, is it? So that means that they're having to more energy output to compensate for that. So that's one thing. The other thing is wind. So this we get more wind in the autumn traditionally, although we've had quite a decent autumn so far in the UK anyway. Um, but basically, wind. I'm pretty sure I've done a podcast on this uh, podcast with the Horsemanship and Mindset podcast about horses' senses. But like when it's windy, the sensory awareness for these animals just is all over the place because they have better hearing than us. Um, and sight and everything else. And when it's windy, they cannot pinpoint things. So they can hear all this noise, but they can't pinpoint where it's coming from. They can see all this stuff flying around, but it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is. And it just sends their senses into total overload. And it's too much. And then that's where you get that kind of extra kind of fight or flight behavior situation from them because they're just on alert because they're like, everything's everywhere and I don't feel safe. So there's that. It's all just so much fun. Clipping and rugs. So, of course, as we know, that first clip for our horses tends to send them a little bit woohoo because of that change in body temperature and that sudden sensation on their skin. There's suddenly they feel a lot more sensitive on like literally on their skin because there's no hair there. So there's that. Less turnout or grass because of the seasonal changes, but also because maybe it depends on your living situation with your horse, but they might now have moved paddocks, they might now be on restricted grazing, they might now be coming in at night and going out in the day, or vice versa. Things might have shifted for them. And that change in their routine, that change in their movement, that change in their diet can lead to the change in behavior. And then, as well as that, the disruption to their routine, the shorter days, etc., can bring on like a little bit of mild stress or just general uncertainty in your horses. And these shifts naturally start to activate your horse's sympathetic nervous system, which is their alert mode. And what we need to remember about this is often, like, we'll label this behavior as naughty or, oh, right, a horse has been difficult now. But actually, it's just a heightened sense of alertness or dysregulation because of all the changes that are happening in this short space of time in autumn. So it's really important that we look upon this change of behavior in our horses with the season as with as much compassion as we can, really, and understand that it's a big change for our horses in all these little facets, and so of course they're going to be a bit all over the shop, and that's okay. It's inconvenient for us, of course, but it's understandable. The poor buggers. So now, what happens with us is we tend to feel the opposite. So whether we respond to this is another story, but we tend to start to feel this seasonal slowdown. So we start to feel the shorter days, the introspection, that desire for rest. I don't know about you, but like in the summer, when it's light outside and it's light for a long time, you feel much more motivated to like get out in the evening and do things. And then suddenly when it's dark or it's getting darker and cooler, does not make you want to get out in the evenings and like ride or anything like that. I certainly didn't ever feel particularly enthusiastic about it. And this mismatch, this desire from you for, a bit more kind of slowing down and relaxation and rest, and then your horse being the opposite of that, this mismatch can start to lead to frustration or maybe even disconnection. Like, why are you losing your mind when I'm really tired and I would just like a nice calm ride? So the key to this, again, is remembering that your nervous system can be their anchor. You can be your horse's calm anchor in all of this chaos that's happening. And you're not here to match their energy in this. You're here to stabilize it. You're here to help them start to relax and find that safety in you where, it feels like it's just been all tossed around everywhere else. So, here are some ways for you to start recalibrating your energy a bit for when your horses are up and flying around in the wind with the leaves. So, some like real practical mindset and somatic tools for you here. So, the first one is ground first, ride later. So, before you even tack up, long exhales, think about your knees being soft, shake out any tension that's in your body, maybe do a bit of a body scan or something, shake it out. Remembering with this that horses read your baseline, so you need to reset yourself before you go connect with them. The next one is don't rush connection. So if your horse is feeling all fizzy and crackers, if they redirect their energy before demanding calm from them, before making them stand still. So I always teach this on clinics, and I do talk about it sometimes on pods as well. But basically, if your horse is full of tension, if your horse is feeling like completely overloaded, they need movement. So whether you can just walk them around in hand, maybe, bring in some gear work. So go slow, go fast, go normal, stop, start, change what you're doing, change direction, groundwork with rhythm. Maybe you're doing some circle work and you're changing directions, things like that. Think bring in like different transitions and movements start to engage their thinking brain. So they're getting that movement, so they're moving that energy through them. But they are having to sort of come down and focus on what you're doing because you're changing things so much. And as you do this, please, please, please remember that this isn't like a right, quick, look, look, look. We're not going into it with this energy, like a right, you're not listening, so I'm going to make you listen. It's not that energy. It's more of a right, let's make things interesting, let's change things up, let's get your focus. And so you're calmly like, right, fast, slow, stop. Can you do this? Can you do that? It's coming from that sort of a energy rather than a right, come on, because that's just matching them and it's just going to send them higher. Same with, and I know this is a really common practice, but I really wish people would start to move away from it, just in lunging your horse. Like, if your horse is fresh, if your horse has come in from the paddock and they're fresh, just lunging them, just sending them out on the lunge and letting them have a gallop round is not going to serve you or your horse. I know, that's how we've been conditioned. That's what we've been conditioned to do. That's what we should do, quote unquote, when they're fresh. It really, it might tire them out a bit, but it's also just making them fitter. And you're just creating a habit of them flying around you, going mental, when actually you could be creating connection. Because I bet you anything, if your horse is flying around you on the lunge, they're not connected to you. They're not listening to you. They've probably got their nose turned to the outside. They're probably pulling a little bit and they're probably whinnying their head off. And that's not connection to you. So if you want to create connection, you want to get them to use their brain. And that is through groundwork, transitions, movement, like lateral movement, changes of direction, all of that. That's how you get the connection. Yeah, you can do a bit of circle work, but you're going to change things up. You're going to have transitions. There's a purpose to it. There's a focus to it. They're not just flying around on the lunge. So I'd really just like to drop that in here. And if this is you, if this is something you do, I'm not saying this with any kind of judgment, but try something different. Try something different, because doing it like this, you're going to have so much more connection and such a better relationship with your horse than just blindly sending them out on the lunge. If there was, there's a lot of changes that I'd like to bring to the horse industry, but one big change I would like is that people stop doing this, because it's not conducive to a connected, calm horse. Anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Okay, so let's have a look at next step. Mirror regulation. So you can't calm your horse down by demanding stillness, You can calm them by embodying it. So remember, it starts with you. Your horsemanship starts with you. Your voice, your breath, your body language can help to co-regulate with their nervous system. So you taking a moment to stand, breathe out loud. I'd encourage you to out loud, like go, and your horse will respond to that. Okay. Take a moment to calm you, and that will help calm your horse. And think about your body language as well with this whole mirror regulation thing. How are you holding yourself? Are you holding yourself in a relaxed way? Or are you holding yourself in a tense way? Think about your own body language. And then, of course, reframing your mindset and the language that you are using. So instead of thinking or saying they're being stupid, they're being silly, they're being an idiot, think or say, they're showing me where I can grow my own calm. My goodness, sometimes my horse, he would occasionally, I've spoken about this before, he was a pretty cool guy, but every now and then, I would say like 1 in 100 times, I'd catch him in and he would be an absolute, for no reason that I could ever fathom, he'd just come in like an absolute, I don't know, dragon and just be, I don't know what was going on with him on those days. And I would always be like, right, okay, this is your opportunity to practice being calm and relaxed when he is not. It was always a test. But yeah, just try and think, right, okay, this is an opportunity for me to test this out. Also, just read the horse you have on the day. Like, if you have a horse that comes in and there's just no, like, things aren't going to change with them. Change what you're going to do. If you had plans to go out on a lovely hack and they've come in like that and it's not going to change or it's going to get worse, don't go out on the hack. Do a bit of groundwork. Do something light. Do something with a little less expectation that requires a little less kind of finesse from your horse, and you'll have a better session than just trying to do the thing that you wanted to do. So be adaptable. Lower your expectation when they come in like that. And just remember that every new moment with your horse is feedback for you, and it's an opportunity for you to grow in some way. Promise. Okay. And of course, use support tools if you need them. Of course, there's my Ride or Cry kit, which are 4 audios to really, really help you to calm. So I've got like the Fear Freeze Fix, which is that really cool nervous system regulation audio, or a really nice visualization that's in there as well, the Unshakable Rider visualization. Using tools really, really helps too. So let's have a think about the lesson of autumn and what it's here to teach us. Autumn asks us to find calm within chaos. You've got all this, like, the leaves are falling off everywhere, branches are falling off everywhere, the weather's changing, it's windy, it's rainy, the days are getting shorter, it just all feels a bit much. But it's our opportunity to start finding calm and stillness. So, just as trees start to release their leaves, it's time for us to let go of this illusion that control equals safety. How profound is that? I'm going to say it twice. Just as trees release their leaves, it's time for us to let go of the illusion that control equals safety. How many of us need to feel in control to feel safe? Hey, a lot of us. So, what we need to be thinking about is that trust can grow when you stay centered, not when the world around you stops moving. You've got to be that calm in the chaos. So, how can you find that calm to be this calm person for your horse so that they can start to relax into this new season with you? One thing I would definitely say to take away from this is to kind of let go a little bit of expectation of what you want to get done. Go with the horse that you have on the day, that you catch in on the day. I'd go with that. So, to conclude, if your horse feels a little bit more electric right now, please know that it's totally normal, it's totally common, and there's nothing wrong. You're just both adjusting to this new season. as we move towards the end of the year. And this is your chance to become the calm that your horse needs, not by pushing through and keeping a stiff upper lip and just carrying on, but by grounding your roots a little deeper, by coming back to you. And if you're listening to this and you're in the Southern Hemisphere and you're thinking, oh, this doesn't really apply to me, we go through that shift as well. As we head into spring, there's always that little bit of fruitiness from our horses, isn't there? The grass has changed. Again, their routine's changed. So something to bear in mind too if you're in the Southern Hemisphere and you're heading into spring as well. So if this resonated, as always, follow along for more tools, subscribe, so you can help build calm and confidence from the inside out, understand yourself better, understand your horse better. That is why I'm here. And if you'd like to try the Ride or Cry kit out, I will drop the link below because it's made especially for moments like this. And if you found this week's episode helpful, please share it. I would love you to share it. Tag me in the post and subscribe if you haven't already. Rate, review, do all of that stuff. That's all great and really helpful to get the word out there. And I should also say, I'm pretty sure, let me just check my diary. It's right next to me. Next week is. Yeah. Next week, the podcast is a year old. So next week, I will be running a competition. So stay tuned for that. I will be running a very special 1-year anniversary of the Horsemanship and Mindset podcast competition. There's going to be some cool prizes and just to celebrate this being a year old. So stay tuned for that. And I'll do a special Q&A 1-year special. So I will put out on my Instagram probably an opportunity for you to submit some questions for that episode. And I look forward to it. So I hope you found it helpful. I will see you in the next one. Over and out.